Hi everyone, I'm Dan. Welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. In preparation for X-Men 97, I'm taking a look at the entire X-Men 97 wave of Marvel Legends figures that just came out from Hasbro. And today, in a 6 minutes or less type review, we are going to take a look at the new Goblin Queen figure. And this little baby she comes with, gee, who could that be?
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
We have our first Madeline Pryor Goblin Queen official figure ever in Marvel Legends form now that we have this figure from X-Men 97. And she looks really cool. As you can see her spinning around on the stand now. The cape is tattered and torn. She's got a form-fitting costume. Maybe not as skimpy as some people were hoping it would be. But she looks halfway decent for what we are getting in the Marvel Legends line. I'm actually pretty happy with it. What I do want to point out are a couple things. I'm actually going to take her off the display stand just for a moment and bring her closer to the camera. So I do want to point out that she does have the little amulet here on at the middle of the cape, like acting like a clasp for the cape. It does look really neat. The cape itself, there is a peg, and I don't know, you can see the peg. I have a lot of trouble getting it to stay in the hole there, which she also has some kind of bulky hair, so it leads to her head kind of almost looking down quite often as opposed to dead on, which isn't my favorite thing. Her skin tone is also kind of pink. I'm assuming this is kind of like a demonic glow or something like that. That's the assumption I'm making. I don't really know what this figure is going to, or what this character is going to do in the show. Seeing her there was a bit of a surprise. One other thing I want to point out before I move into any type of accessories is her articulation, and it is fantastic because she has our double jointed pinless elbows, so you can get her arms to move around quite nicely. Of course, there is bicep swivel. Arms go all the way around and up and out. Ball joint here at the waist, which goes way back, but not forward a whole lot, it seems. It almost seems like there could have been some more going there. I already talked about the head. The hair kind of impedes the movement. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Nothing else at the body. But interestingly enough, at her legs, which kick up, there is thigh rotation, but it seems to be lower than most Marvel Legends figures. There is this very nice detail. I'm assuming they just didn't want to break up the detail, so it is lower. Which it looks pretty good. It serves, its purpose pretty well. Double jointed knee, like you've come to expect. And then no boot cuts or anything, but of course we get ankle pivots and tilt. Now, these shoes, man, I gotta be honest, I hate these feet. I don't mind the high heels, but these are so shallow, these holes, that I can't even put like a figure stand in them to get her to stand. Which is why I had her starting off on the flight stand. Because she has a very hard time standing up. Like, I keep trying to get her to stand, and I'm gonna have to just, the fact that I did this right now cold is kind of amazing, but I'm probably gonna have to brace her with something in my display. In terms of accessories, Maddie comes with a few things. First off, she comes with a little tiny baby in a blanket. More than likely this is Cable, or Nathan, Nate Gray. And there are, see, she fell, but anyway, there are some X's printed on the baby blanket, so you do have that. Let me focus a little better here. There we go. You do have like that cool little X-Men flair to it. She has two fists that you can swap the open hands out for, which is nice. And then she also has these, I guess, magic effects. Goblin Queen being kind of like a magic user. They just slip over her hands, just like you'd come to expect the magic effects to go. Something like that. You can make them go as far back on her arm as you want. Probably help if I don't hold her sideways. So, these effects we've gotten used to seeing. And if I weren't doing this on a camera and under kind of a time crunch, I'd probably spend a little more time getting them on. But, standard stuff for Marvel Legends. Probably comes with almost the most accessories out of anybody in this wave. I think Executioner has more than her. But otherwise, pretty decent. And I just really want her to stand, but I'm having a very hard time doing that. So I'm going to compare her to some other figures, starting with, since I mentioned him, why don't we look at her next to Executioner. There we go. They scale very well. I can bring Wolverine up here. I've been using the Wave 1 Wolverine for a lot of comparisons. And sorry that I have my hand on Goblin Queen here, but she's going to fall over otherwise. So there she is with Wolverine. And here she is with Magneto, who you've seen a couple times now. Magneto looks pretty good next to her. And so there we go with our new Goblin Queen figure. She doesn't look that bad overall. As I said, she's kind of hard to get to stand. Like, I kind of have her in a pose now where she's balancing on her cape. But she is able to stand like that and kind of use the energy effect and hold the baby. If you're going to be using this in your X-Men 97 display, she'll probably be perfect for it. If you're going to use her for a main Marvel Legends display, a good stand-in for an official Goblin Queen figure. Granted, we don't have the torn kind of under-boob looking costume that a lot of people were probably hoping for, but she still looks pretty cool. There could be some improvements made to this figure, if I'm being honest. But there we go. Let me know what you think of this figure. I would love to have your feedback, so leave a comment down below. And until next time, I've been Dan. That's been Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. You've all been pretty awesome, and I'll see you around.
Come get